Magic, isn't it? Right? With a little bit of video editing, we got our hoodie on. Thank you guys for clicking on this video. This is the next episode of the Mischief TV. This episode, we're going to be working on the Corvette a little bit. We got some of the wires moved around. We moved some of the hoses around. We cleaned up, definitely cleaned up some of the mess we got in the engine bay and the interior. Painted some more things. Might have puffed a little bit of spray paint. You guys will just have to watch the video to find out if we did that or not. Yeah, we just got some fun things done. A little bit of work done on one of our previous builds as well. Make sure you guys stay tuned for the whole video to see it. It's right there at the end of the video, so make sure you guys stay tuned all the way through and make sure you watch that. There's big things to come with that project. Yeah, this video isn't going to have a lot of major things done to it because I put a lot of time and effort into the website and the video trailer that just went live. So make sure you guys go check it out. Make sure you check out the store at themischiefstore.com. That is TheMischiefStore.com. It's themischiefstore.com. And yeah, let's get some work done. Thank you guys, and let's go. Literally just came outside to film the video, and the Vette won't start. Let me show you. 100% not what I was planning to do already. We were going to get the Vette moved over there to the front of the garage and just start cleaning it, clean some of the interior, make it look a little bit prettier. Now it won't start again. So let's figure that out. First thing to check is the battery. That one on there tight. That one a little tighter, I suppose. There we go. We don't even use the sub. Not the radio on. There's no reason we should be doing anything. Key on. I'm reading just under 12 volts, which should be enough to... Here, let's just try this. Nope, it's dead again. That's strange. Got the battery back out of the car for the I don't even know how many times. Got the red wire tucked in there. So if we're pulling a voltage, this thing should... See, that's interesting because I'm getting 12.5 volts. My voltmeter is not reading that. So I'm going to put it on the charger for like half an hour and go trace some wires. Try to figure out what this is, but this is weird.
A few moments later.
Alright, you can see I've got it wired back in. It's been a little bit longer than half an hour, but should be able to 89, about 90% at 12.9 volts. I'll take it. Let's go put it in the car. You guys are back on the tripod. Hello there. We're going to go ahead and put the battery in. In case you guys ever wondered what this awful process looked like every time I got to take this battery out. Now that we're live, we're gonna go ahead and try and start it up again. Sitting at above 12 volts for anybody wondering. Dead in the water again. It's just dead again. Subwoofer still works.
A few moments later.
Austin came over here, said he's lucky. Give it some gas. Said he's a lucky guy. Came over and tried to start it. And now it starts. What did I say? It just needed me. I'm gonna have to sell him this car. You guys watched me try to mess with this and get it working, and Austin comes over here and just starts it. Now you see my shirt, but I promise I'm not lying that it wasn't starting. I don't understand. I don't get it. Alright, it's a new day working on the Vette. Tried to start it. Last clip you guys saw was Austin come out here and starting it. I don't know what the hell that was about, but we're gonna give it a shot. I got the battery terminal nice on there, snug and tight, so I'll be able to give it some gas here. She ain't so angry anymore, I don't know. I must have fixed whatever it was. Or maybe Austin's just lucky, I don't know. But we're gonna now that we've got the Vette where we want her, we're going to work on tuning the carburetor a little bit, getting some of the engine cleaned. I don't really understand what that electrical problem was, and until I can figure it out, we're just kind of ignore it. I'm going to kind of just touch up everything I did before, kind of check all the wires, make sure everything's tight, make sure the terminals are nice and clean, might sand them again. Just a little stuff like that. But what we're going to do is we're going to work on tuning the carburetor, see if we can get to lay down some more power. We're going to clean up the interior and just kind of make it look a lot better. The interior is very lacking, and the interior is lacking for sure. The engine bay, sorry, is a bit lacking on the power department, or at least it's making power. It's just not putting it down. I don't know if that's the Hoosier's fault or if that's the C4 tires, but insert the clip of the awful burnout we did. So we're going to work on tuning that up a bit more and seeing if we can get it to lay down some more power, because that was pretty pathetic. It was pretty sad. So let's get to it. I'm going to quit yapping. You guys are back on the tripod now. What we're going to end up doing is we're going to take that off. We're going to end up tuning this accelerator pump. Let me get the camera here. You see the little lines up there on top of the accelerator pump. So this whole thing actually spins, and it adjusts this lever in here, which adjusts the choke fan, which lets the air into the carburetor. So we're going to adjust that a little bit. I think it's getting caught or something's happening with it. So we're going to take it off, unloosen a little bit, get it in a better position, see if it'll idle and run a little bit better. Past that, there's not much more I can tune up here. We're really just going to dive into the interior and try to fix that. On your generic Holley carburetor, there are 1, 2, 3 bolts holding this cover on. So I'm going to go ahead and unloosen all of those. Shouldn't have to take them out, I wouldn't think. Just unloosen them. There should be one down here. And this should, yep, it spins. So it looks like the marker is on the third one. 1, 2, 3. So let me start it up and then we'll tune it and see if we can get any better idle out of it. I just want to clarify, when I say idle, it idles a little bit high, and that partly is the accelerator pump's issue, but also when I give it gas, it sputters and backfires quite a bit. That is more what we're trying to fix on the accelerator pump. It's the load under pressure. The accelerator pump determines how much fuel is let in when you push the gas by adjusting the choke blade, and if that's not set up properly, it'd backfire, which is what mine's doing. So we're going to work on adjusting that, and hopefully it fixes the idle in the process. Now we're going to go ahead and start it up, and hopefully we get a better idle or something from it. From inside the cab, I'm rating about a 1200 RPM, which is a little high, but turn it back. There we go. So the more you turn it, the more it opens that fan blade. So we're going to go close. Should be. Seems to be doing better. Still running a very strange, a little high idle. So I'm going to go ahead and adjust this just a tiny bit more. That's that idle screw. Then I'm actually going to try to find a better spring, because this just has a little bit of play, and I don't like that. I don't like how much play it has. And as soon as I adjust it down, the RPM goes where it needs to be. So I'm going to find a spring and see if I can't make it just a little bit tighter. All right, what I've done is I've removed the big ugly spring from right here, took the throttle return spring that was right here and put it up here. And I took this one and put it over here because it really wasn't mounted to a good spot over here, and I can't find anywhere to line it up. So I might have to go buy a smaller spring. It kind of is what it is. But hopefully this does something, and I might look at getting another one because I kind of painted the shit out of this one. So Might have to go to the store. I'm gonna keep messing with it. After a quick run to good old Home Depot, because Roll King didn't have what I needed, we've got 2 big springs. We reused the old one, and I put a brand new spring down here. So we're gonna see how the throttle works. It took me a couple minutes to get them bent on there, but honestly not too bad. So we're gonna see how it feels and see if I notice any difference on it. I definitely expect it to be tighter, but we need to see if it's too tight. All right, on startup, we have a pretty nice, maybe a little low idle. See if I got. It's really tight. Oh wow. Yeah, it's definitely a little too tight. All right, I changed it around. We're a little bit higher of an idle now. Put some of the other back on it. See, it really needs to sit right there. See if I can't get a throttle blip here. Definitely take some force to put that pedal down now. It's idling a little high still. Yeah, I still need to do a bit more messing with it, but I kind of like that pedal. Alright, I took that little spring out and we're getting a better idle. It's running about an 800 idle, which is a lot better. The throttle response is definitely a little harder. I like that. I like that better than the other one. That's got good pressure on the old foot. I just got to figure out why it's idling so irregularly, and then we'll be good to go. I come over and mess with it, and it goes back to a happy idle. We are smoking a little bit. That's from the open exhaust right here. There's no wind or anything today. It's actually a pretty nice day. So I think it's honestly pretty good to go. We can move on to the next thing. As you can see, the Vette is full of all sorts of nasty and gross and otherwise just paper and trash. So I'm going to work on getting some of it cleaned out. It'll be pretty right about now. Ta-da! That's all nice and clean. So what I've been doing is I've taken this Meguiar's back to black, which I've heard really good things about, and I'm trying it right here on the center, and you can already see it's a little bit better than the rest of it. So I'm going to keep applying it. The directions are pretty simple. Just smear it on, a little bit on a rag, buff it out, get a dry rag, buff it, do it again, let it dry, do it again. So I'm going to keep doing this piece, see if it gets any better. If this works pretty well, we're going to try some other panels on the car, If it works, we're going to try some on the car and get the rest of it clean, mainly the door panels, maybe the steering wheel, some of the stuff in the back. But I just kind of want to get it cleaner. The interior of this car bothers me, and I'm not exactly sure why. Maybe it's because it's made of cheap plastic, or maybe because it's all mismatched. But I'd like it to be clean one way or the other. So that's what we're going to try to accomplish, and maybe pop some of the black interior out. Like you can see, it's looking pretty good, but there's still some to go. So let me keep working on that, and we'll get somewhere, I don't know, maybe in 5 minutes. See you in a second. Honestly, it doesn't look too bad. We got to let it dry for a little bit, but compared to like the black plastic, like if you look at that compared to the AC controls, it looks pretty good. You can see all the scratches and everything. And I got a scratch remover we might try, but wanted to try this first. It looks pretty good. So we might try this. We're going to let it dry first. So you guys know what time it is. Alright, it has been a couple days since you guys have seen anything. We got the rest of the interior kind of cleaned up with that back to black stuff. It worked really well. Got the other door panel painted black because we took it to breakfast and I really wanted to have stuff done. We got the center console painted black instead of white. I do quite like it. I'm sorry I didn't show you guys any of this. I was just kind of in a hurry with a can of spray paint, and it looks pretty good. I did rush it a little, and it doesn't look great, but it looks pretty good. It looks better than it does. So I'm going to show you what I got done, and then we'll move on to the next. You can see the paint on the door panel looks pretty good until you get to over here on the fabric, where I shut the door and it was not dry and it peeled on the cover too. So I'm a bit irritated about that. I might try to hit it with a can of black paint, just hide it. But other than that, the interior looks a lot better. Give everything a nice quick coat. It looks a lot better. I'm trying to clean some of the stuff up. Like I said, I painted the center console as well. I also shinied up the rims to make the wipers work. I've remembered that I took a bunch of this stuff out to make the AC and stuff work. And I've got some wires over here where the washer fluid pump is. So I'm wondering if this ground that I thought was for the AC isn't for the washer motor to pump fluid, which I don't really need, but I need the wipers to work. So could be a cause and effect there. I'm not sure. It also looks like it unplugs. So I think the first thing I might do is try to unplug it here. It just doesn't unplug from up here. So I'm kind of lost on why it would unplug like that. But for the most part, I think it's just the air conditioning. We've kind of switched to mission, clean stuff up because the wipers are still confusing me. So back to the original mission. I'm still trying to trace some of those wires, but as we're doing it, I got the ground wire braided back up, cleaned back up and reattached. Got this moved from over here to over here. Just looks a lot cleaner. Kind of cleaning up some of these. I got some zip ties we're going to zip tie down. And I also remembered in the bag of old AC parts, I have a bunch of brackets kind of like these and kind of like the steel one I have down here. So I'm going to kind of put some of those on, kind of zip tie some of these back so they look a little cleaner, kind of clean up some of this side, and then we'll work on the other side. We'll work on the wiper blades. But I'm just kind of listening to some music and getting some of this done. So I will get back to you guys as soon as there is more done. I mean, it's pretty much just I'm unbolting it from one place and putting it over here and then making the wires look pretty and then unbolting it and moving it. I promise you don't want to watch it. Just pretend. Imagine what I'm doing, and it's pretty much the same thing. Drum roll, please. After about 20 minutes of work, we got everything zip tied up. Starts looking pretty nice. I got a couple more ends to cut, but all in all, looks about 10 times better than it did. Really, all I did was move a couple brackets around, zip tie some of the wires up out of the way, and zip tie all the spark plugs wire. But you can see it's loose, so it's only holding it in place. It's not going to pull it off. Got to cut this one off. It's holding the rest of this together. Looks pretty good. I probably should have grabbed black zip ties. I might go grab some, replace them out at some point, but it looks a lot cleaner. So now we're going to kind of shift that way. I took the hose off here and I'm working on painting it white. I didn't show you guys that. I'm kind of just going to surprise you with that one too. What we are going to do though is we're going to work on rotating this gauge a little bit. So I'm going to loosen these. We're going to rotate it. I'm also going to rotate this so it's more at an angle. Instead of being like this, it's going to be like that. And then so I can turn this and it'll be right up against this. Should be able to still have enough line here and get that in there without being too tight. My worry is just trying to get everything around all the lines. So I might have to crimp it off and cut off some of the pressure to get all the fuel out. So it could be interesting, but I think that's what we're going to try to do next. Okay, so I've got the fuel line reran under the coolant hose and back into the carburetor. I had to get another hose here. Managed to get it work. Fuel gauge looks nice and pretty. I'll come around to the other side. Looks very nice, carburetor. And it's fuel gauge. Step back. Definitely brings that look together. Shouldn't leak any, so clean that up a bit. We're still going to keep working on that side before we hit this mess. My big thing is I just want to kind of clean up some of this. It just looks messy. I mean, it's getting a lot better, but like some of these wires I can hide, or I can put a braid on, or just make it a bit prettier. You know, it's not the prettiest car. Ain't not the prettiest car. She's not the fastest car. All right, I got a wire braid on that wire. I know I was just talking about putting one on it, but I actually found one that fit that gap of wire coming off of here into the, taking both wires back just under it. It fits perfect, so that's awesome. What I'm going to work on next is trying to clean up some of the suspension, just shining it up a little bit more. Not really much more I can do on this side, but I am going to get that at least cleaned up before I call it done, and then we'll move on to that side and we'll go from there. I also might look at a new dipstick or just cleaning it. Really, that seemed to take a bunch off. Wow. Okay, so yeah, we're just gonna keep cleaning and then we'll move on to that side. We're gonna start with the suspension here. You see I hit it with a rag and brush is almost right off. So I'm gonna put about 15 minutes of work into it and we'll see what it looks like. As I'm working to clean up some of the suspension, I mean, it already looks better, and I got this hose popped into where it's supposed to be. I noticed all of these wire connectors and the bulb that's out of place, and there's another one here. That's probably why my pop-ups don't pop up, and the fact that they don't actually spin. So I'm thinking the gears are shot and there's no connection to them, so I'll probably end up just rewiring them to a switch because that's ridiculous. All the other lights work though. I know they're all wired in, so honestly I'll probably leave everything how it is and just wire the pop-ups into their own. But that's not what we're doing today, even though that's as fun as it would be. I don't have the parts to fix the pop-ups. We're just cleaning stuff up. I'm probably just going to tuck all those down in there and hide them like they were. And so it looks like we'll get ready to move on to the other side. Everything else looks pretty good. Ta-da! From the very pretty clean side to the not so pretty messy side. So I think I'm going to start down here. You can see it's a bunch of connectors that are all thrown around. I might take this off and paint it, I'm not sure yet. But really what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of clean up all these wire mess, and then we'll start working our way this way to this wire mess. But this one first, I'm going to try to clean up some of the wire connectors and we'll see where we get. I'd say that looks a lot better. What I did is I just kind of shoved some of these wires, took some of them out of the way, shoved this light back in. I mean, you know, just basic stuff. I'm not really sure what some of this vacuum stuff is. It leads all the way up here to the firewall, but I'm just going to leave it all alone. It does look a lot cleaner and better in there. So we're just going to kind of work this way. Like as you can see, my wires are starting to pop out here. That is interesting. Guess I'm just gonna tape that off. I'm not exactly sure. Black and red, black and... Oh, consider me confused now. I don't know, the fan works. I guess I'm just gonna tape this off and leave it alone. It's interesting. Moving on from that though, once I tape that up, alternator's pretty good. I'm gonna try to get some better tape. I have heat shrink on it, but better tape or something, make it look a little prettier. I'm not sure there. This is falling off. I'm more worried about all these random wires and stuff back here in this corner. So once we get this taped off, I'll start working over here. All right, I've started cleaning up a little bit of it. We got this hose tucked under the brake booster instead of over it, and I've just started taking off wires. So this one goes right up here to the tachometer. Next one I'm going to try to wire out is these green ones, which I believe they went to the old oil sensor that was originally on these 350s. I don't need them anymore, but I mean, look at them, they're kind of burnt and toasted. I'm guessing they got close to the headers, and that's why they look like that. But I'm probably just going to cut them, tape them off, and hide them back there, or maybe ball them up and hide them back there. But I got some questionable, and this one is heat shrinked. I'm going to tell you, every time they're heat shrinked, I just have tape over them because I don't trust the heat shrink all the way. I've had connections come loose, or I've had connections that people have done come loose, and I have done most of these, but like that one is the one that he did, and I don't, and it's for the wipers. I haven't really taken it apart too much, but I know there is heat shrink under it. But like there's another plug back here and another one all the way down here. Like, I don't know where any of these things actually plug into, but we're going to try to clean some of them up and find homes for the rest of them. I can say I'm much happier with this. We got the big wire braid on, we got a little one up here. Still got the two wires to figure out what the wiper blades, I mean, I still can't figure out. I know those are the two wires for it, but I can't figure out why. Got the wires taped off over here and tucked under the throttle, which should be okay. I don't see a reason why that would be a problem. It's out of the way of everything. Got them tucked under and got them retucked on the side here so they're tight. The only two I'm still questionable about are what do I do with these two, because I can't leave them hang and I can't really tuck them, they're too long. So I might just cut them, but that's about my only option. And then I got to figure out what to do with this. I have a couple wire braids left, so we might put a couple wire braids on that. But as for being cleaned up, it is definitely coming together real quick. All right, I still haven't figured out these long ones. I've kind of just tucked everything away. Everything else looks really good. The hose is also dry, white, you know, white off the black tip, looks really good. Yeah, you guys are starting to see the dream here. The gauge right between the wires stands out, looks really good. You can almost see it pop, which looks awesome. This side is also really clean. I really like how everything is all nice and clean. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean some of the tools up, and then we'll see what it looks like. I mean, obviously we're looking at it, but I mean, what more I can do, what other things I can clean up. yeah, I'm about done for the day. It's starting to look really nice. And I know I said we were about done, but I ended up taking off the bracket like this one. And I'm gonna end up painting it. This one is stripped out, so I'm not even gonna try. But yeah, get that nice up, painted. But other than that, everything else is pretty much done. So we're gonna hook the battery up and make sure our new fuel connection here off the carburetor is doing fine and not leaking. I'm gonna do a final tighten on it, and then we'll fire it up and see how it goes. Should be running fine. I mean, it was starting up just fine today. I had no issues with it. So get in here, tighten that down. All right, that's tight. I guess let's start it up. Nice and tight. All right, key is on. We're going to turn the fuel pump on. Come over here, make sure we have no leaks. I got no fuel on my hands. Let's see. Nothing from there. All right, let's go ahead and fire it up and see if we're leaking. Carb on. Right up, but I think I got something on the headers because it immediately started smoking off. Maybe it was fuel. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's awesome. Alright, I cleaned some of that stuff up, and as you can see, it's not burning off anymore, so doing really good. And it looks even better. We interrupt your viewing. We actually got the back tire back on the pit bike and we're going for start. So yeah, we're gonna stop what we were doing and interrupt your guys' viewing to show you this. Ta-da! Minus back brakes. The brake pads disappeared and the chain just popped off, but just push it down there, we'll get it back on. I swear, getting this thing anywhere is always more of a pain in the ass than actually riding it.
Right.
A little bit of gas, she's trying. Just remember, there's no back brake. We got starting fluid. Good old starting fluid. You guys will see this in a later episode. There's a use for this. Ready?
Yep.
3 hours later.
Sand went sideways.
She's alive. Yeah, she's very, very cold. But, oh, yeah. It is very cold and not really wanting to stay alive. But if you guys watched the very first episode, this is the pit bike we ripped around on and then blew the back tire on. And it has had a back tire blown since then. We finally got one. Nope, we just sputtered out.
It did not like choke.
No gas and she's running. Let it idle for a second. Let it warm up on its own. But unchoked, you can hear it. Nice and purty.
Remember.
It's in first. Moment of truth. Charlotte, move again. Yeah, we had to do a bunch of chain adjustments, so.
I'm gonna just kind of turn around.
Yep.
That
Chain might be a little loose now. Chain needs tightened, but other than that, she rips again. Woo woo! Now we get to shove it back in the garage. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Back to your regular scheduled showing. And we're back. The pit back was pretty fun. We got it running pretty well, as you guys saw. So we're gonna go ahead and take this hose that was right here, and I'm gonna paint it white like I did this one. And then the driver's side window stopped working. I think the switch went out. They did give me an extra one, so we might go into switching that. But really what I'm gonna work on is trying to get the idle to sit a little bit lower. It sits at about 1,000 to 1,100, which is just a little bit too high. But you guys saw when we put the big springs on it, the throttle was too tight and it was just a little bit too low of an idle. So we got to find that happy range. I might actually have to tune the carburetor to find it. The springs could be okay, I'm not sure, but we're gonna put some paint on this hose here and then we'll work on that again. I present how to paint hoses with Hunter. So the first thing you're gonna want to do is find a screwdriver that this hose fits onto. That one's not too big. It's not a screwdriver, but it's an Allen key. You see the hose fits on here tight. And then we're gonna put it in the vise. Now that we're in the vise, we're gonna make sure our can is on 3 and just very lightly, I don't care about this, so I'm gonna paint it. Honestly, what we should do is take this rag here. That'd be perfect, you know, just right over. Tuck away everything we don't want to get paint on. Here we go. We just kind of. I know my camera skills are great here. And then we'll let that dry. I'll get the inside here without holding the camera, or actually I might be able to. There we go. And then check this side. Doesn't look too bad. Yeah, if you guys ever wonder what the process is of painting all these hoses, it's not easy. But ta-da! We'll let that dry. We'll put it on the car. Let's move on to other things. All right, I know I said that the springs were good, and they are, but if you look, I got the throttle cable here, let me, see that little bit of play that I get? See if I see that, and then see how it gets tightened. It's a little goofy, so I'm gonna try to scoot these 2 bolts that hold this in place backwards just a little. I'm just really hoping they aren't maxed out where they are already, because everything might be that, and that is going to be scary. So I got the right size socket. I need to get a Phillips head that'll fit these. I really hope there aren't Phillips on the bottom side, because this makes this really hard. If this isn't gonna work, I'm gonna have to try a new spring or something to get this idle, because that throttle cable is a little screwy. I was not able to get that on there, but I was able to get this spring hooked to a different loop and get these on there a bit tighter. So now, you see we got a little bit of wiggle. We got a little bit of less, but we still got that weird tension. So we're gonna see if anything I did made a difference as soon as those lines are dry, probably another half hour or so. It takes forever for that rubber to dry. Also painted the little cap back here, just popped it off real quick and threw it with some paint. So we're gonna move on to the other annoying broken thing that started today. I already took the screws out. They're already loose, 1 and 2 here. There's also the 2 up here that I'm gonna try to not take out. When I got the car, it came with an extra switch for the windows, but it is broken. You see how this one has the little lip? So I should be able to just, and it's Phillips screw, so I'm gonna get a Phillips head in there and pop it out without taking this whole fucking thing off, because it's such a process. Excuse my language there, but it's so annoying. So I'm gonna try to get that Phillips out and pop that switch out, plug the other one in it, and we'll see if we have any windows. All right, I was actually able to get that screw out. It looks like this one is a bit broken too. It looks like there's little 2 push tabs, so I'm gonna try and squeeze that off. Old one out. Crappy broken one. We're gonna plug it in and then we'll see if it works. All right, we've got the new, old, whatever you want to call it, in nice and tight. So we'll power on. Battery's connected. Let's see if same thing. I'm not even getting sound like it's going down from the door. That's a new problem. Then popped off the one on the passenger side, which we knew worked. So now let's see if it works. So you're telling me every time I want to roll my window up, I'm gonna have to switch buttons? Sorry, it hurts my thumb, man. I gotta keep pushing it in. So I'm gonna put this one on this side because, you know, I want the window. And then I guess I'm gonna order a new one for that side. Let's try popping this one in, or maybe the other one on the other side. And I'm so confused, man. I don't know. We know this one works though, so we're gonna leave this one on this side. Let's try getting that side to work. After testing it, this one will go down, but not up. So let's put this one on. See, it's not easy. I gotta line it up, and then I gotta squeeze it on here because whatever idiots designed these didn't think of us. All right, let's try up. Oh, down. All right. They're just both gonna be broken. So I'm gonna squeeze them both together, slide them back in, and then we'll put the screws in them and get everything tight. Both windows work. Don't ask me why. Screws back in one, and you can't hardly see. There it is. The other one. So let's test it here. Up or down. Up. Down. Up. So I'm going to tighten one, and I have the other one right here. And two. Tighten them all the way down. You can see there's a little gap there. And then that'll be done. And I gotta put the shifting knob back on. Hold on. Alright, that's done. Let's tighten these. Introducing the world's first locked windows. Put the key in. Oh, we want to go up. Down. Up. And not only does it work for the driver's side, but it works for the passenger side. Key in. Oh, isn't that amazing? You can get one for the price of whatever the hell you want to pay for it, because I don't like these and I would rather get new ones. Got the hoses on there. They look really nice. The white is standing out really well. I really quite like that. So now we're going to go ahead and start it up. And, oh, I left the battery terminal on. Hopefully it's not dead. And we'll see where we get. Hopefully it runs a little bit better. We still have 12 solid volts, so. That belt, man. Hold on, let's try this again. There she goes. Let's try this one more time. Didn't really do anything different. Running about a 800 idle. Comes back down. Try to get some of this shit figured out, but for tonight we're just gonna call it and park it around the barn. Voila, new day. So not really much we're gonna do on the Vette today. We're getting pretty close to the end of the video here. I did notice the alternator ground wire was a little loose, so I'm gonna show you that, and then we're actually gonna take it off, make sure it's crimped right, and retighten it. Other than that, everything else is pretty cleaned up. Might try to wash everything with like a hose or everything, but yeah, let me show you that. We'll get on that, and then we'll kind of wrap things up. The ground wire is not supposed to be wiggly, 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 and that's not me wiggling it. That's like wiggly, wiggly, wiggly. That's no bueno. So I'm gonna pop this off right here. Always have the battery disconnected when you do this. You never want to short out your system because you're being stupid. So I'm gonna pop this off, recrimp this down, tighten it back up. It is really windy, so I'm going to try not to talk too much so the microphone doesn't cut out. So let me pop this off, do this real quick, and yeah, I've gone ahead and recrimped it, put heat shrink on it, and put new tape on it. So now we're just gonna zip it back up. It's not loose. Oh, we are loose down there though. I'm gonna pop that one out too and do the same thing to that side. Now that I've broken it loose with the ratchet there, we're gonna oh, well, hope I have another one of those. And after a few solid hits with the mallet and crimping it on, see if I can. Oh, that's not coming off of there. So let's heat shrink it, tape it, because I don't trust the heat shrink. We all know this. And then throw it back on the car. This is a problem I didn't see, but I'm glad I found it. All right, we've got it nice and tight. You guys see that? There's no wiggle. There's a little bit of wiggle here, like with the wire itself, but if you look at the connection, nothing and nothing. Perfect. The microphone died while I was filming all this, so basically we figured out that the old horns, like the horn with the steering wheel, isn't plugged in anymore, and so I popped them out and we tested them. They looked like they just had a ground and a power wire on them. Neither way would they seem to work, so I went ahead and pulled it out, and I pulled the other side out. After a quick run to the store, and yes, the microphone died, but it's back. We got wire braid, we got some paint, we got black zip ties. So we're gonna put some of this wire braid over some of these wires down here, and one here, and probably a couple other little places. It's gonna rain pretty soon, so I'm gonna try to knock this out. All right, this is looking better. I got a wire braid on the purple wire down there. I got one on the wire group that was here. Now they're all threading in. I just would really like to get it around away from that ground terminal if I can. Also got this one zip tied here. I got a cut, and we got a pretty one on this one. So it's getting a lot better. I think I'm going to hit the white up there with the can of black spray paint. What you're saying? Why are you painting over the Corvette? Because I'll do it right now. Because, oh, that might be cool popping out. I'm going to do it in white paint marker instead. I'm going to paint the whole hood black eventually, but I'm going to hit that right now with a quick coat. Kind of looks cool already, but yeah, I'm going to hit that real quick. I buy Corvette. Well, I don't know if that's dirt or scratches already, but I literally just sprayed it. Yep, I buy Corvette symbol. It's okay. We are going to, I'm going to leave the bowling green there because that's kind of cool, the Corvette emblem. But we're going to hit it with a white paint marker as soon as we get the rest of the hood painted. Obviously, I'm not doing that today because I'm going to have some rain coming, but we're going to hit that little patch. I'm going to hit this patch right here in the center again, and then we'll keep working on the wires. That already looks so much better. So we're going to let that dry, and then I'm going to keep working on some of this stuff. Once that's dry, we might put another coat on it. I did start washing some of this. You can see all the dirt streaks. I mean, look at my fingers, it's already dirty. But that is the part that I already painted and had clean. So I'm gonna try to move on to the rest of it. Probably not today. Might start it like over in this corner maybe, but it'll be a couple day process, I'm sure. I did it. I cut them off. I'm just gonna tape up the ends and shove them into one of these braids, and that'll be it. They'll be gone forever. I don't know what to do with them. I don't really have a use for them. And I can't really plug them into the same plugs, the stock plugs, where it would plug into the sensor. So just gonna cut them and hide them away. I mean, I can't really pull all the wires out either. So that's the best solution I have. And there they are, tucked in there. And that really cleans it up a bit over here. Still got some wires over here I'd like to hide, but it's hard. Otherwise, it looks a lot better. It looks really clean. I'm just gonna try to clean some of the mess. So you can see I got paint on this one. I think I'm going to replace this one here with a new one, but yeah, it's coming along and it looks really good. I could not get it off because it's solid all the way around. Most of these wire braids have like a little cut in them so you can feed the wire into them. That one doesn't. It's for the distributor only. So I just tucked it under it and hid it away. We did an Ice-Pex thing and just tucked it away and hid it forever. So yeah, it's looking a lot better. I mean, I'm really happy with it, honestly. A couple little places that need braid, like up here by the fan. Might get one. Might leave that. Other than that, yeah, I'm very happy with it. All right, we laid some silicone down to try to get this to stay. I know I oversprayed, but hopefully it'll keep it tight. Let's see. Actually, it is pretty solid already. I'm gonna let it dry for probably another half hour or so. Got everything over here nice and cleaned up. Really like the way that turned out. So you can see this wire braid here is not very pretty. I might put a zip tie on that, like right there, close that up. But other than that, I kind of have it as clean as I can get it. I moved the sub wire all the way down so I can get a braid on these. Honestly, might try to put a braid on this one. I'm not sure. Other than that, I mean, those are main terminal wires, so it probably makes sense just to leave them bare. Doesn't really matter. But other than that, it looks pretty. It's starting to look like a genuine motor that somebody built and not just a bunch of rednecks threw together. That's what happens when I put a lot of time into it. I did the math, and I've had about 5 months of work into this thing. I've had it for about 5 months, and we've gotten really far with it. So I'm getting a lot happier with the way things look. Visually, the next step and probably the next video is going to be to unlock all the power that I know it has hiding away. I know it's making it. We just got to find a way to put it down. 'Cause, I mean, it does hook and it does take off, but I cannot get them to spin for anything. So we'll look more into that. This video is pretty much coming to a close pretty quickly. Not much more left we can do. I think we're going to call cleanup done. I replaced all the white zip ties with black ones and added some more down here for support. Man, I'm really happy with that. They cleaned up a lot. That's really nice. Especially on this side. I mean, both sides of the wires just dip straight down. It'd be nice to get these farther back, but I really don't have a way to. I'm okay with where they're sitting. Everything just looks a lot nicer than it did. Everything is all bundled up. I ran out of black zip ties, or I would have changed this one out. But it is what it is. Man, it looks good. It's the last day of filming for the Vette. The trailer video went live on Tuesday when it was supposed to, which is awesome. It was a week late, or a couple weeks late, I know, but we still stuck to the Tuesday schedule. So this video is going to come out on Thursday, 2 days later, because of the trailer video and everything that I had to get done. So I apologize if this video came out later. I'm still really going to try to have one out next Tuesday. I'm going to try to stick to that weekly schedule. If it's not next Tuesday, it'll be the one after that. I'm still going to try to stick to Tuesdays, but this video is the well, we're kind of in the middle here because that trailer video had to drop and it looks awesome. If you guys haven't checked the website out, make sure you guys go and do that. But we're going to wrap up work on the Vette today. We got a paint marker. We're going to hit a couple things with it, make it look pretty, and yeah, we're about done. So my idea with this paint marker here is just to kind of ride on the engine oil and ride on the trans fluid here and just kind of pop those letters out. So I'm going to go ahead and do one of them real quick and we'll see how it looks. I am going to touch it up a little bit, but that looks really good. So I'm going to do the other one here. There we go. That's a lot better. The trans, wow. That's incredibly better. Wow. Those really pop now. Woo woo. There are reasons why I shouldn't have a paint marker, but oh, I love them so. We went ahead and wrote a few things. I mean, AC Toledo is quite funny. Also, filled out those dipsticks like I showed you. Hollygrove room. I had to add something over here. The fuel pump, or it's not the fuel pump, sorry. The fuel pressure gauge over there kind of draws the attention. And you got to kind of laugh when you look at this. I mean, it is funny. The rest of it looks pretty clean. We started the first coat of the hood. It also looks pretty nice. Still got to do over here and in the fender wells, but I drive it. It's going to get pretty dirty. I'm not too worried about those. The rest of it looks pretty nice. I'll walk over to the other side real quick. Wrote a couple things down here, but the biggest thing that I tried to do was number all of the spark plug wires in the firing order and the distributor in its order. So I know, and I'd like to keep remembering that. And so it's just a good thing for me to look at every time I'm under the engine bay to learn and to remember. I mean, these 350s are pretty standard, and this is one of the firing orders, so it's not too bad. But I'll give you guys a couple clips, and then we'll be right at the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and yeah. Alright guys, you guys have reached the end of the video. I hope you guys really enjoyed that. This one got a little longer, but it was a lot of just me working on little stuff and trying to make the engine bay look a lot prettier, and I'm so much happier with the way it looks. So I really hope you guys enjoyed. Like I said, this video is going to be a couple days after our due date, but that's because the trailer and the website went live. I'm going to plug it once again. You guys should know the way I am by now. You guys already got your fancy cinematics. You can sit through about 30 seconds of me yapping, I think. If not, I guess you can click off, but please don't. I would really like it if you would to go to themischiefstore.com. That's TheMischiefStore.com. Make sure you guys go and do that. I know that was a really good plug, really first try. The wind's picking up, though I really hope it doesn't ruin this. But on that note, I'm getting my words tangled up, and I'm trying to do this first try. Yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I hope you really enjoyed. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, check out the store. Make sure you check out the trailer because we did put a lot of time into it. It took quite a while. That's why things have been delayed. And we'll catch you next one. Bye-bye. Oh, you think I can let you leave yet?
Such a happy song. Rock, 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 rock.
Alright, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed. We'll catch you next one. Bye-bye.
Stop it.